Hey, it's Dinosa once again, and I was asked to do another review real quick about this Kanye West album. It was the album before the the Jay-Z album, the Holy Grail Carter one, and you could say this is more or less the sequel. You could kind of see where Jay-Z was going with it, but I didn't really listen to this album. Um, or no, I didn't. I didn't really listen to this album before I listened to Jay-Z. I listened to Jay-Z first. Of course, it's all Kanye West and um, Jay-Z doing their City with Otis Redding's rendition in that video where they destroyed the Maybach, which um, you can see why they did it, because they sold the Mayock for charity and made money. It was a neat idea, but that goes with Jay-Z, a marketing master. He knows how to sell it. Even though I don't agree with everything he does know how to sell it. But Kanye, man, this album gives a little bit of preview of Kanye, and Kanye should be thanking his Jay-Z holding him a little bit, because really you could see the craziness of Kanye and his rapping. And if it wasn't for Jay-Z holding him down, really, I think the guy would be a mental institution, or you just do something really crazy. Now, that does not excuse his behavior in the past at the VMAs, where he interrupted Taylor Swift and even Jay-Z's wife, Beyonce. I don't think they were married at the time, but brought Taylor Swift back up and said, "Why don't you say what you're going to say, because of some idiot," which was really embarrassing. But I've always wondered why. You would think if you were married to Jay-Z and Kanye West acting the way he's acting, you would wonder why, like, Jay-Z doesn't, like, kind of kick him to the curb a little bit. It's like because his wife doesn't really like how he acts, or at least talk to him to change. I mean, there was enough controversy when Jay-Z went out on tour with Timberlake and Kanye was sort of MIA. Kanye wasn't thrilled about that, but he had his own responsibilities. Jay-Z's a businessman. He's not stupid. He knows Timberlake's a better draw than Kanye. But to be fair, we had to kind of listen to what his album was. So we'll just kind of run through all the tracks here of this album. The most latest one, released in June 2013, was it was named YEZ1 or Jesus. I'm sure it was a play on words. Now, in the Spanish culture, when you see Jesus spelled, and this is where I kind of learned it, on timesheets when I used to be at old jobs, it was actually pronounced Jesus. And it was quite common on the Jesus, even though it's spelled in the English Jesus. And, anyway, in this thing, he does a play on words where it sounds like Jesus. And how Jesus existed and everything. And interesting enough, this one's a lot more spiritual as far as religion goes, and he talks about a lot more aspects of it. But let's kind of go over some of the tracks here. The first one, and forgive me here, I'll kind of play it on the background, low volume. This one, honestly, when I heard it, it's called On Sight. Sounds like a video game from the 1980s Nintendo. And they purposely took the volume so it would hurt your speakers or blow your speakers. It was a neat play on things on that, but it wasn't really too controversial. Other than and throughout this album, that reminds me, he talks about, like, black this, black that. It was definitely like he talks about that, but then he talks about white women. It's very explicit. I got the explicit version. But here's the thing. In this song, you just heard it, how it switched. Okay, Jay-Z's album does that too. So now I'm kind of seeing the pattern where they're getting it from. Then it goes back into the beat. I like the beat. I didn't really like the song too much. But, you know, it wasn't that bad a deal. So let's move on to the next one. This one here is called Black Skinhead. And what this song basically is exactly what it is. Is kind of the most racist, like black, you know, that's the way I took it from his lyrics. You know, like, I'm black, I'm this, you know, he was just like racist to everyone, and, you know, and then their attitude. So it was an interesting play. It was a nice reversal play on it, and that's what I got from it. The only thing here is that he talks about things like he says, he talks about the Romans keeping 300 and then 300 women and all that, and it's just kind of just more standard ego talk, like, I'm this, I'm that, it wasn't that unique. I didn't really. I was like, whatever. It just wasn't, you know, whatever song. Next one is called I Am a God. Now this one's kind of interesting. Where it kind of starts out a little more religious. Or just a backbeat where it's like Destiny, big space, everything. But one of the things he talks about, where he talks about I am a God, and you know what, you know, give me my open the garage, get my Porsche out of the garage. I'm in a French restaurant. Where are my damn croissants? Kind of funny stuff. But then he also talks about, like, I said what's up to Jesus, and then, hey Jesus, it's Jesus. And I found it intriguing where he says, I'm a God, yet I am a follower of, like, I am a follower of God. But he says, I am a God. You know, and it's just kind of like, what? Yeah, that's the whole thing. I mean, he like literally watched him play, maybe played or watched a game, God of War, or just something like he talks about in this video, like you just heard it, massages, cars. Where's my this? Where's that? I'm like you could say rap God or rock God or whatever, but then he says, like, I talked to Jesus, I'm just chilling. And he says, I still follow God, but I am a God. That's crazy talk. Because if you listen to, actually if you read and understand that it goes back to the saying, if he's referring to the Judeo-Christian or Jewish Hebrew God, it says, I am the Lord, I am the God, I can't believe I'm not remembering this. He says, I am the Lord your God. You shall have no other gods before me. Previous to that says, I am the one who led you out of Egypt. And I don't remember the whole verse off the top of my head, but that it was basically what he was reminding them, the Hebrews at the time. He was reminding them, I did this for you. I freed you from Egypt. I am the big king. Me, nobody else. There is no gods like me. There's no nothing. So, this is either egotistical or egoism run mad, or just, you know, he's playing on words or something. I don't know. It's just crazy. Or it might be saying, I am a God, and then dealing with Aleister McCrowley's stuff, where do with our will, so says the Book of the Law. But y'all shouldn't really get into that unless you're prepared, because that stuff will mess up your life unless you're really prepared to look at it intellectually and not take it seriously. All right, enough on that. Next song New Slaves. Now this is a neat one. I really like this song because here's an attempt at Kanye going out there and telling the African American community, you're nothing but slaves to the system, the corporations. And one of the interesting points he made, and really I think this should be not just African American people, I think it really should be everyone. He's a basic. One of the lyrics he says, "You people, you see this person wearing this, and all you people want the same thing. This has been programmed in you. You have been taught this. You're a slave and you don't even know it." And it was an interesting play, and I think what it was is his view of like, yeah, everybody likes to dress nice, everyone likes nice cars, nice stuff and everything, but it's the quest to get that stuff, it's the jobs, it's the crappy jobs you work at to buy stuff you don't need. And it's kind of a Fight Club thing, but that's what the whole song's really about. And you're basically a slave to the system for the quest or the rewards to act something you're not. Interesting. I thought it was a really good play. The song was kind of boring, but it was a nice play. Hold My Liquor. It's a whack song. I think they were drunk, or he was drunk, or I didn't quite get this one. Other than him maybe just being smashed and he hands someone and he's like talking to someone or something. It was really a weird one. Okay, so I'm just going to skip this one. This is whatever. Okay, now this one, next one is called I'm In It. I'm In It basically is about sex. Like I'm in it, or I'm into sex, or I'm in it. And it was a neat play. It's like, I'm into this, I'm into sex, I'm in it, I'm into you. And you can hear the beat, sounds like a moan in the background, but he also uses the audio synthesizer, which really, here's my take on the auto-tune. For one song, occasionally, it should be allowed, but the problem is that when you got all these rap stars using the same auto-tune, the same thing, no skill there. Just absolutely no skill. Jay-Z shows some comedy skills in some of his stuff. So did Eminem and Dr. Dre in Eminem albums, where Dr. Dre would say something and there was no auto-tune. He's like, you're out of your mind. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, Dre, beer goggles, you know? And no, we didn't get those auto-tune voices say, oh, I look great with my shirt off, and it sounds, you know, it's just, it's, you know what I mean, it's just something like, it's cool once in a while, but not all the time. But in this album, they used it multiple times. This is one of them.